Hey everybody, welcome back to the Queens Lair. I am your host, Kellie Miles, and this is the month of May where Mother's Day falls. And so we have a very special Mother's Day edition that we're going to be talking about today. The name of the episode is Baby Mama, No Drama. Because I'm here to tell y'all that, yes, it is possible for parents, for women to share children's father and not have drama. And unfortunately, we don't always get that. And so we have a great example today of where baby mama, no drama, where we can have a civil and working and great relationship. And so today I have joining me Miss Kimbala Chef Blue Roberts. I'm going to bring her on in a second, but I just want you guys to pay attention and listen. And this is a special episode for me because Kimbala and I have children who share the same father. And so we're going to talk about and share with you guys how we've made it work with us. And hopefully it'll be an encouragement to you and you can take something away for how it could work for you too. So here we go. We're going to bring Miss Kimbala on. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining and coming on. First of all, before we get into this conversation, I just have to tell you and everybody else that I absolutely hate the term baby mama and baby daddy. I know that it is a societal norm. I know that it is something that everybody has just accepted and it's popular, but I absolutely hate that term. It just sounds so uncouth and ghetto.
I agree. I agree.
Yes. So I'd like to say that our children share a father. And so that's what I will say. But first, I already told a little bit about who you are, but just tell us from, who you are, where you're from and what you do. And then we'll get ready to get started.
Okay. So I'm Kimbala. I go by under the name of Chef Blue, and I'm a professional chef and CEO of my own company, which is Blue Pearls Taste of Love, and it's doing business as My Healing Meals, Nutritional Meal Prep. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, but I currently reside in Florida. Sunshine State.
Yes. The Sunshine State. Do you believe I have never been to Florida? I got to get out there one day.
Woo!
It's crazy because yes, it's crazy because my son has gone out there to visit with you and hang out with y'all. So he's been out there in Florida and I haven't even been out there yet.
Yeah. But he's actually been to Virginia. That's
right. He was in Virginia. Yeah, that's right.
So we're still waiting for him to get out here.
Oh, he will. We will. We're going to get out there at some point. So, especially with the new edition, we're so excited about it. Yes. So we're getting ready to be new grandmoms again.
Yes, I'm gonna be Nana Blue.
Yes, I'm Chachi. I just went with Chachi. So
okay, I like Chachi. Chachi's good.
Yes, I'm different because you don't hear that, and I like Nana Blue because it's different too. I see that like I did a rhyme. So basically, our children are pretty much young adults now. So they're pretty much grown. But when we, first started out, they were maybe like 9 or 10, I think it was. Maybe somewhere around there. I think it was 9 when we first, met. And so, we've been in each other's lives for pretty much all of those years. And so I guess I'll ask you first is what do you feel like some of the strategies that we've been able to have to maintain a positive and working relationship and, and even going back as far as where it actually started before we got to this point?
Wow. Well, strategies, pretty much not dwelling on anything from the past, just allowing growth to happen, a lot of prayer. Because it takes a whole lot to get to where we are now from where we come from. So with a lot of prayer, a lot of growth, and just not letting any negative energy from anything past or any bad things that we thought were going on at a young age, because we always think that something's bad's going on, but we're young. Yeah. So we don't know. So it all is just growing and getting older and learning life. But other than that, I felt like at the very beginning, just in our initial meetup, was really great. It started out very positive.
I think it was at King of Prussia Mall.
It was at King of Prussia Mall because
Yep.
King of Prussia Mall was our meeting point,
Yep.
because the distance between me and our son's father, it was a nice happy medium.
Yep,
so
happy.
both of us, we didn't have to sacrifice going too far from Philadelphia and I believe Allentown at the time, where I was. And I met you, and it was like a breath of fresh air. So a lot of people, I say that often to people, and they don't really understand. I was like, well, when you see a lot of things growing up, you see a lot of different people, a lot of different relationships, and you worry, you concerned, like as a mother, you concerned about who is going to be in your son's life. And how is this person going to be? But your introduction was on point. Thank you.
Yes.
And it was very surprising because I wasn't expecting you to come. And then you showed up, and then you introduced yourself respectfully. And the way you introduced yourself, the tone, it was inviting. And so I knew, I was like, okay, this is someone with common ground with me, that you felt like you could feel the love that you already had with our son's father. So I knew it would trickle down to him. So I felt like already in a safe place at the very beginning. And besides that, your name was already in play before I even met you, way back when. Yes, yes, you have been spoken about quite a few times. Yeah. So you might want to talk about that. It was a very good conversation. And so I knew about you before I knew that you guys were going to get back together, because I knew about you. You told me the story, how you guys were, and it was pretty much, to me, I felt like it was God. I felt like it was God, because with all of our trauma and everything that was going on in our relationship, because he was a lot younger than me. We were young already. And so it was all maturity, trying to grow and get older and become more of a man. So I did a lot of praying. So I felt like I pretty much, so to say, how you say, I planted a seed, and then I prayed for you. I prayed for you. I prayed that God would bring someone in my son's life that would help him to and nurture him to continue to grow and become a better man, because I knew he was a good man, but I knew he was there for a reason and for just a season. So God brought me and him together to have our son.
Yes.
So I knew God has something more in the works and plans for him, and to help him to become the man that he has created him to be. So I prayed for you, and you were, so I feel like when he spoke of you, it was already like putting it out in the atmosphere. So back into, because it was there, like it was always love between us, but it was, the love to build for our child. And so and I say, I've actually said this story a couple times to my significant other, and because there's issues going on with his family. So I said it's possible. It's possible, and he's a praying man. I said, continue to pray. God will answer. God will answer, because He has answered, and because of it, now my son has 2 great mothers. And as a father that that love him, and he feels the love, like he always spoke about you often growing up, and that warms my heart, because there's like, because, a lot of times kids would come home and they would, be kind of laid back, kind of standoffish, and because
Yeah.
something's going on, but it wasn't never like that. So he
Yeah.
would always like, well, I want to go back, I want to go
Oh,
back.
that's
And
great.
it was the distance that, just really hindered us and
Yeah.
everything. So like I say, I thank God for you, Miss Kelly.
Well,
I'm
thank
telling
God. That's a blessing to hear that, because I'm big. I'm big on relationships. I feel like that's one of the gifts that God has given me, is building and maintaining relationships. And I
Mhm.
care about people. And the one thing I can say when I first met you is that I really, really appreciated, and I felt for myself that going into this, I had to be a little different, because this is my second marriage. And
Mhm.
so I was a stepmother before, which I don't
Okay.
use that term either. Any either. If you're my child, you're my child,
Mother.
regardless.
Yeah.
You can call it a bonus kid, but we don't do the step. I don't do the half brother, half. I don't do any of that. We're family, and that's it. But it was a lot that I learned from that previous relationship in my first marriage, and with my son's mother, from that relationship, his son. And there was a lot of tension, a lot of animosity. There was fights, and just because we were young, we didn't have the understanding. And like you said, we go into it already with a negative thought and a negative
Mhm.
connotation
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
minds. And being a product of a family, a blended family, before myself growing up, where my brothers and sisters, and then their dad, and then my dad, and it's just watching how, things unfold. And because I care about people, I took pieces from each one of those experiences and learned from that. And the one thing that I went into this with, and I have, a sister of mine, who I call my big sister, not by blood, but, by the spirit. And she actually
Mhm.
had a talk with me and was giving me advice and understanding, and sharing with me how to go into this relationship with you. And she was telling me, to talk to you. Because I remember one time before the wedding, I called you and I spoke to you and I talked to you. And I wanted you to be, to understand that going into this, I'm in your corner. I'm not trying. And I had to respect you as his mother. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's
Yes.
your son. I'm not replacing you, but I'm adding value to his life from my side and my perspective. And so I'm a bonus mom, because I respect you and I listen to you and I understand. And even in those times and conversations where you were talking to dad, I was able to step back because I understood where my place was, and that I'm not to interfere with you guys being parents. I need to understand that I might have my thoughts, ideas, and suggestions, but as long as it's not anything that's going to be crazy, that's going to cause him harm or anything like that, then you guys are the parents, and I respect
Right.
that.
Right.
And the other thing is respecting the sons, and having that conversation. And we sat down with both the boys and had a conversation with them and saying, listen, we're becoming a family now, and you guys are going to be brothers. And it was just so amazing, because like you said, it was nothing but God, because from the very first time they met, they were like this, like they
Yeah.
knew each other already. I'm talking about running around, wrestling, playing on the floor, like they already knew each other. And that just
Mhm.
warmed my heart. And I absolutely loved and respected how you always made sure that dad was in his life. You
Right.
always made sure that they connected. Whatever the situation was between you and dad, you let that be, and you
Mhm.
made sure you focused on making sure he had a relationship with his son.
Yes.
Regardless of the distance, you still made sure that they called and that they spoke and they talked. And when there was a milestone or something that he was going through, you kept him in it. And I love that, because it's unfortunate to see, but so many people have used their kids as pawns, and
Yes.
use their
Yeah.
kids and say, well, if you don't do this, then you're not going to see your child. But that's immaturity, because you're hurting the child more than anything else. And my prayer was, Lord, help me to be who he needs to be, who I need to be in his life, and help me to be a support and a help to her as a
Mhm.
mother, in any way that I can. So it was an honor for me when I got invited to the baptism.
Yeah.
It was an honor to me when I was invited to the birthday parties. You know what I mean? It was an honor to me when I came to the cookout you guys had at the house in the back, and I was able to come. And it was an honor to me because it made me feel like I'm I was being accepted for what was in my heart, and that I was able to show you guys that I'm not here to break up families. I'm here to add. I'm here to give more. And so I love the fact that we were able to do that. And it's unfortunate that there's so many people that don't know how to reach that level of maturity and find out where the issue actually is and nip it in the bud so that you can have a good working relationship without the tension. So that is just amazing. But before
like some of them don't want to. They just
That's true. That's true.
Want to sit there in their whole rut and just stay there in bondage, and they don't want to. They just don't.
And that's true. It's almost like they like the tension, and they thrive off of the drama. They thrive off of feeling like maybe they have some type of animosity because the relationship didn't work. And so now they got to make it bad for the other person. And I think that's something. Let's talk about that a little bit before when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. And then after the break, we're going to jump right into some more of that conversation and how some of these young ladies continue on with the drama because they have some type of animosity based on their relationship with it. Yeah. So we'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You are watching the Queens Lair. I am your host, Kellie Miles, and we are talking about baby mama, no drama today. We are in the month of May where we celebrate Mother's Day, and we're having a special conversation between me and Miss Kimbala, who our children share a father. And so before we went to the break, we were talking a little bit about how the women today sometimes use their children as pawns in order to get what they want or get revenge from the father. And so let's just talk about that. Like how, why do you think it is that they do that? Do you think that there's a piece of them that's jealous? Is it a piece of them that's angry? Like, what do you think?
I feel like it's pretty much all the above. I feel like some of it, to me, from things that I've noticed, a lot of it goes from how they were raised and their background, or what they're used to. Like maybe they're lacking something. Maybe they didn't have like their father around or mother figure around. And so they feed off of that. And so the way they were treated to try to get attention. And then once they got with a man or a woman, whomever it be, then they want that attention constantly. So I just feel like, and then a lot of it, the jealousy because they weren't able to make it work, where I said that's everyone is not there for the whole time. They're just there for a season. But some people just feel like, well, why you couldn't make it work with me? And so, and it just don't realize, well, it wasn't meant for you, but their mindset is just different. Their mindset is just all on them. It's all about them. And even when what's that, like the money hungry ones, they just use their child and say, well, you can't see them unless you give me this. And well, I have this and you can't, well, I don't have this, then you won't see them. And it's just like, it just want to pull your hair out. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Like, it's a shame because there's so many good fathers and good mothers who are really lacking in having a relationship because of someone's selfishness. Like they just don't want it. And it's really sad. And I said, me and our son's dad, we sat down and said we would never, no matter what is going on between us, we would never speak any negativity, any ill will about each other, and anything that happens between us, we talk about it between us, but we still keep that child in our lives, each other's lives. Like, that's not going to happen, because I'm a family oriented person. And that's one thing that I loved about when I met you. I seen that in you. And I was like, that's great, because me, myself, is also a product of baby mama, baby daddy.
Yep, me too.
My parents, they broke up when I was 7. And then my father actually, the other woman, I don't know, which is my stepmother, his wife.
Yeah.
He had two kids, my sister and my brother. And the crazy thing about that is, what a lot of people think is crazy, but I don't think it's crazy, because that's how I've been raised. So I feel the same way. Every family function, we are all at the same family function. My stepmother and my dad, which were already separated, no longer married, was at my mom and her new husband's wedding, the reception.
Wow.
They came, and everybody had a good time. My dad was dancing with my mom. My mom was dancing with, it was just a beautiful thing. And so I actually think back in the day, that was an actual question. It was before I had my son. Like, wow, your dad, and everyone is like, yeah. He asked that too. He's like, yeah, I've never seen nothing like that. But yeah, that's a big family affair at every occasion,
And that's
as
how it
many
should be.
can, because it's beautiful. Like, family
It is.
means a lot, and to have extended family, that's just more love. That's just more love to bring, more love to give. Why hold it? Why hold it to yourself and just sit around in somebody's rut and all mad and fussing and cussing and all of that stuff? And why?
Yeah.
I know our heart hurts. Our heart hurts, because we couldn't make it work, and we may be in love with that person, but it just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in the cards, and that's just how it is. So,
and like you said, sometimes people come into your life for a season, not necessarily to be for the whole thing, which is the same thing in both our case, because my first marriage didn't work out. We got divorced, but I got my son. Right. And so since I have my son, it's like, now it's like, that's my focus is on. And I was the same exact way, even with him. I never spoke bad about him. Even with things I didn't like and I didn't agree with, I never spoke bad about him to his son.
Pray about it.
I just pray about it. God, please, Jesus. But when it came to stuff like that, I left it where it was, and I allowed them to have the relationship, and I allowed my son to establish his own perception of his father. And I allowed him to be able to, have that experience and just be there for support for him if there was any issues or questions or anything like that. So, but I think that's a beautiful thing that you were able to have that with your family and bring everybody together to celebrate and to love on one another, because it should be like that instead of having the animosity. But unfortunately, a lot of people hold on to that anger. They hold on to the resentment. They hold on to, not being able to come to an understanding with their differences and being able to through those differences.
And that trickles to the child.
Yep.
Trickles down.
And what people don't realize is they're teaching their child in that way to how to deal with conflict, how to deal with, differences of opinion. And when they see all you do is bump heads, fuss, fight, and argue because of differences, they grow up and we perpetuate that mindset.
Right.
Yeah. So I just love that.
I know, it's so great. And what I love the most, back in the day, my son, well, I call her mom, dad. She got all the kids, all her grandkids together, included him on family pictures, like the pictures
Yeah.
with all her grandkids. And she included him. And I was like, that just warmed my heart so much. So it's just like, and my
Yes,
son
I
seen
love
it and
it.
he appreciate that. And he's like, and he such a strong-minded young man. I don't know
You
where
did a
he is.
great
You know,
job with him.
I tell you what.
Yes.
But he sits down and we talk about all of the stuff and all the family. We call family general. He just says we need to break the generational curse. And he
Yes.
said it needs to stop here. We need to break. I said absolutely right. And I said this is where it ends. It ends with here with us.
Here. Yeah.
Like, because
And
he
that's
notices everyone else in the
yep.
vicinity doing that, and let's break it. So.
Yep, we got to break it. And it's funny that you say that because do you know, you may not know this, but ever since the wedding, I have never taken a picture with the family because I can't get the kids together. I have no pictures because I want everybody, like you said, if they come to visit, they see their picture. They know they're important. They know they're wanted. They know they are a part. And so because I have not been able to get all the kids together,
Yeah.
I have never been able to get a family picture because I refuse to take it with just the ones that are here because that's not a complete family. And I don't want to just have, and some people would call me crazy because they would say, well, just take what you have and just put it up there for now. No, I want all four of them, together and then take my picture.
Yeah, and then very soon do you have the grands with it too? That'd be so beautiful.
Yes. Then we can get them all in together. So,
yeah,
but this is
that
great.
In the atmosphere. We speaking that
I'm speaking it. Yes, we're going to have that one day. We're going to touch and agree that that's going to happen one day because I believe that it can and I believe that it will. So, but we are getting close to wrapping up. And so, before we get ready to close out, I just wanted to just ask you to share some tips and advice for feuding parents and, not to say step parents, but feuding parents and, multiple moms or multiple dads. I don't know, because that can happen too when you have more than one father. But just what's something that you can give them as a tip and advice for making the relationship work? And then we'll get ready to close out.
Well, I would say first, stay rooted in the word. Stay rooted in the word of God and stay in prayer because prayer does work. I prayed you in, I prayed you back in, I prayed you in, and God answered. And communicate, open your heart and just look back and feel, even if you were in that situation, see how you felt. And just look deep into you, and you wouldn't want that for your child. So just look into your heart, see how you felt, and open up and just communicate. If you just sit down, just have that sit down talk, and you may bump heads, but eventually you'll come to grips of some type of agreement. But communication, prayer, and staying rooted in the word.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Kim, for joining us today. Thank you for sharing with me and sharing stuff I didn't even know. So I appreciate that. And it's just an honor to be a part of the family, that we're all part of the family.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for joining.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode and check out our YouTube page, because if you check out our YouTube page, you'll be able to see all of these other episodes and the after show. So make sure you check out the after show, and we will see you next time. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching The Queens Lair.